Today's news highlights. Date June 18, 2025. News highlights: Chinese actress Fan Bingbing recently posted a photo with her 69-year-old mother on Instagram, which aroused heated discussions among netizens, marveling at the frozen appearance and temperament of the mother and daughter. Experts point out that stabilizing blood sugar and insulin can help delay skin aging, and people over the age of 60 who are in good health can safely receive non-invasive medical aesthetics. Doctors recommend that the focus of mature age maintenance is moisturizing, sun protection, and nutritional supplements, with regular work and rest, exercise, sugar control, and stress management, and both internal and external repairs can maintain youthful skin. News highlights: Harvard Medical School recommends 5 healthy exercises for all ages. Swimming strengthens the body and improves mood. Tai Chi improves balance and mental stability. Muscle strength training can burn fat and protect the brain. Walking helps lower blood pressure and improve memory. Kegel exercises improve pelvic health and control. Nutrients such as milk, bananas, sweet potatoes, blueberries, etc., should also be taken before and after exercise to help replenish energy, promote recovery, improve exercise performance and delay aging. News highlights: National Taiwan University nutrition expert Hong Tai-seung pointed out that chewing sugar-free chewing gum can effectively relieve gastroesophageal reflux. Studies have shown that chewing after meals promotes saliva secretion to neutralize gastric acid, increases the number of swallows to accelerate acid reflux, promotes gastric emptying, and improves cardiasphincter tone. It is recommended to choose sugar-free, non-mint flavored gum and chew it for 10 to 15 minutes at a time. Compared with other chews, sugar-free chewing gum has the most complete effect, and moderate use can help reduce discomfort such as heartburn and chest tightness. News highlights: the leaders of the Group of Seven, G7, reached a consensus on the 16th, issuing a statement calling for the de-escalation of the Israeli-Iraq conflict, emphasizing Israel's right to self-defense and warning that the situation could impact the energy market. The statement cited Iran as the main cause of regional instability and reiterated its opposition to its possession of nuclear weapons. U.S. President Donald Trump left the meeting early and returned to Washington, D.C., and denied that his departure was to promote a ceasefire. The G7 also announced that it would strengthen the rare earth supply chain and reduce its dependence on China. On the same day, the United States and the United Kingdom signed a new trade agreement covering tax cuts on automobiles, steel and aluminum, and Boeing purchases, creating economic benefits and jobs for both sides. News highlights: China's economy could be hit hard if Iran's oil exports are disrupted, as more than 90% of Iran's cheap crude oil goes to China, mainly for refineries in Shandong. Due to U.S. sanctions, Iran sells oil cheaply through a fleet of hidden ships to bypass tracking. The recent escalation of the conflict between Israel and Iran has led to a surge in crude oil prices, which has hit market confidence. If oil supply is blocked, China will face higher import costs and supply pressures. Iran is dependent on China with no other buyers, forming a quasi-colonial economic chain. If the conflict spreads to export facilities, the global energy market could face severe shocks. News highlights: the prototype of the Chinese-made submarine Haiken conducted the first sea test, SAT, on the 17th, and it took more than 5 hours to go to sea from Kaohsiung port, sailing on its own power, and more than 10 technicians on board inspected it. The test was mainly based on floating navigation to verify the operation of the power and navigation system, marking that the research and development of domestically built submarines has entered a new stage. In the future, it is still necessary to complete shallow water, deep water, and combat system tests, and launch mines to confirm underwater combat capabilities, and the testing process is expected to continue for some time. News highlights: the central bank will hold a meeting of board of directors and supervisors on June 19, and the market expects interest rates to remain on hold, but Bloomberg pointed out that the strong appreciation of the new Taiwan dollar may prompt the central bank to cut interest rates early. However, experts believe that 5 factors, including price pressure, complex exchange rate changes, asset bubble risk and policy stability, make the probability of interest rate cuts low, and the appreciation of the new Taiwan dollar also reflects the sound fundamentals of Taiwan's economy and the need for excessive intervention. News highlights: Morgan Stanley pointed out that although the appreciation of the new Taiwan dollar compresses gross profit, TSMC is still expected to offset the impact by strong AI demand and wafer price increase expectations in 2026, and DMO maintains an outperform rating and a target price of $1,288. Analysts said that the impact of exchange rates has revised the EPS estimates for 2025 and 2026 downward, but the increase in capital inflow and the increase in the price-to-earnings ratio is expected to support the stock price, and TSMC is still the first choice for investment. News highlights: Shell released a survey on the 17th, showing that consumers' willingness to switch to electric vehicles has declined, and only 41% of European respondents are considering buying electric vehicles this year, a decrease from 48% last year, and the price has become a major obstacle, with electric vehicles being on average 30% more expensive than fuel vehicles. Although range anxiety has been reduced, public charging facilities are still underrated by European drivers, with only 17% believing that charging is worth the money, far lower than nearly 70% in China and the United States. Shell is currently focusing on fast charging stations, with core markets in China, the US and many countries in Europe. News highlights Meta was fined 1 million yuan by the Ministry of Digital Development in May for violating Taiwan's regulations on the prevention of fraud crimes, anti-fraud law, and may face a fine of 10 million yuan in 23 recent investigations. Meta's senior US executives are expected to visit Taiwan in July and will discuss the issue of fraud with the Ministry of Digital Development and relevant ministries. The Ministry of Digital Development stressed that it expects Meta's headquarters to actively assist in the management of advertising information, reduce fraudulent information from the source, and demonstrate the government's importance to combating fraud. Meta Taiwan has not yet responded to the latest news of the fines and access. News highlights the escalation of the global trade war has triggered exchange rate fluctuations, and the NT dollar has soared to about 30 yuan against the US dollar, causing a serious impact on export companies. Wu Darren, a professor at Cheng'an University, pointed out that 60% of Taiwan's GDP depends on exports, and the appreciation of the exchange rate and tariff pressure have greatly reduced the profits of enterprises. Taking an order of $1 million as an example, due to exchange rate changes, the revenue is reduced by nearly 3 million yuan, and it may even change from profit to loss, which has a particularly obvious impact on the manufacturing industry with a gross profit margin of only 6 to 10%. News highlights Xiao S just passed her 47th birthday, and her second daughter Lily appeared at the Niahu Sports Center in a dazzling outfit, showing her tall figure and fashion taste, which attracted attention. She revealed that she is preparing for a solo exhibition, and although she has filmed commercials, she has no intention of entering the entertainment industry at present. On her birthday, her 3 daughters gave flowers, cakes and cards, and Lily prepared the food herself. She said that Xiao S was moved to tears by the fan video, calling it the happiest day, and also praised her mother as the most gentle person. News highlights the female staff member of the family shared 3 secrets of making coffee on guard, including the arrow on the lid of the cup to help the lid close quickly, the groove to pop the mouth, and the reminder that the coffee cup is a paper container and should be recycled properly. Netizens were shocked to find that many people were misclassified and may face a fine of up to 6,000 yuan. According to New Taipei City's resource recycling regulations, paper containers such as beverage cups and lunch boxes should be cleaned and recycled separately from paper to avoid pollution and violations. News highlights Goddess of Strikes Li Zijun suddenly shed tears when she was cheering in the Fubon Warrior competition last night, which attracted the attention of netizens. She recently played 4 consecutive games at the arena and was very popular, helping the team set a record of 95,000 attendances. Although he was lively and normal before, he had a painful expression and tears in the middle of the support last night, and then returned to his seat to rest. Fubon Yule said that she was unwell, but she still insisted on standing on the support platform and thanked the fans for their concern. News highlights the king of variety shows, Hu Guo, was revealed to have allocated 6 real estate properties with a total value of more than 600 million to his children Xiao Zhen and Hu Xian, and bought high-value insurance policies for them, hoping that they will have a safe future. However, his wife Ding Rowan was not seen in the list of property divisions, which caused concern. In this regard, Ding Rowan only said, "Haha, thank you. Respond with ease and show the big picture." The report pointed out that Hu Guo still took care of Ding Rowan and his family for a long time, and the two worked together seamlessly, and their relationship was as stable as ever. News highlights artist Chen Tianren revealed in the show that she had been sexually harassed by a fitness coach many times, including forced kisses, chest grabbing, and touching her lower body, causing her to suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and suffer from nightmares and fear for a long time. After the incident was exposed, the other party continued to send messages and harassment by phone calls, but Chen Tianren did not respond. The agent said that the other party had apologized for causing discomfort and had not been contacted again recently. This case has aroused great concern about the issue of sexual harassment. News highlights a Taiwanese female fitness coach was mistaken for a Chinese spy by a female passenger while watching a video on her mobile phone on the MRT, and was even questioned about her year of birth. She stressed that she is Taiwanese and that her family supports Taiwan's position, but she is still unreasonably suspicious and sad. She believes that while we should be vigilant against the Chinese threat, casual suspicion of others will only hurt social trust and will not help unity. This incident has sparked heated discussions among netizens, with some supporting increased vigilance and others criticizing excessive suspicion for undermining the democratic atmosphere. News highlights Chinese netizens recently found a bronze horse ornament Tong Dangla from the spring and autumn period in the Luoyang Museum, which resembles the Labubu monster doll that is popular all over the world, which has sparked heated discussions. The exhibit dates back more than 2,000 years and was originally used to decorate a horse's head and have a protective function, symbolizing noble status. According to the Luoyang Museum, the collection has received a lot of attention recently and is now on display in the Junpi Luo Exhibition Hall, which will run until August, and is jointly organized by the museum and the Municipal Institute of Archaeology. News highlights: the Academy of Motion Picture Arts announced that it will present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Hollywood superstar Tom Cruise before the 2026 Oscars, which will be his first Oscar winner. The 62-year-old, known for action films such as Defending the Warrior and Mission Impossible, has been nominated 4 times without an award. In recognition of his contributions to filmmaking, cinematic experiences and stunts, the Academy will honor Debbie Allen and Wynn Thomas at the Chairman's Awards ceremony in November. News highlights: Hong Kong star Edison Chen was suspected of having a quarrel with the crew due to dissatisfaction with the order of disembarkation when he was flying in the first-class cabin of Japanese Airlines, which caused controversy. Some netizens exposed the recording on Zia Hongshu, accusing him of angrily scolding the flight attendant and choking "I will make you lose your job," questioning the injustice of the VIP priority policy. Netizens identified it as Edison Chen based on his voice, and he also posted "fuck it/this ride" on IG later, suspected of expressing dissatisfaction with the incident and setting off heated discussions. News highlights: just after the 66th birthday of the variety show King Hu Gua, it was rumored that he had allocated 6 households under his name with a total value of more than 600 million real estate to his children, but did not leave the property to his wife Ding Rowan, which attracted attention. Mirror Weekly pointed out that he used the love of his life as a guarantee for his wife. In this regard, Hu Gua responded angrily today, 18, reprimanding the report for being untrue, emphasizing that this is a private family matter, and refusing to respond. He also warned the media not to mention the matter when attending public welfare events, otherwise don't come. News highlights: the live-action version of Star Baby, Stitch was released in May this year, and the global box office exceeded $772 million, and the little heroine Mikeloha was praised as Disney's best casting. It was reported that Hawaiian actor David Hong Kong Bell, who participated in the film, died suddenly at the age of 57, and the news was confirmed by his sister. Although he only appeared briefly in the film, he left a deep impression on the audience. This is his first appearance on the big screen, and he has mostly worked as a voice actor in the past. The words left before his death: "See you next time, Ohana, family." Be a touching last word. News highlights: Korean cheerleading goddess Lee Ju-jun recently broke down when she was cheering in the Fubon Warrior competition, and she cried on the spot, which caused heated discussions. The team initially said that she was unwell, and later stated that she had returned to South Korea to rest, thanking fans for their concern, and hoping that the outside world would stop speculating. Some netizens suspected that she was violently attacked by the Korean internet a few days ago, and she cried after being emotionally traumatized, but Fubon emphasized that more understanding and respect should be given to the support group, and called on fans to support with a positive attitude. News highlights: an extramarital affair broke out in the South Korean entertainment industry, and JDB Entertainment's representative A was revealed to have a private date and intimate interaction with its female idol B, causing suspicion of indecent love. A is married and has 2 children, and has starred in Omniscient Intervention Perspective many times. Company senior C confirmed that the two had inappropriate contact and are discussing punishment. The media witnessed the two hugging and holding hands on the street late at night, and B even deactivated his social media account, suspected of avoiding the limelight. The outside world speculated that the person concerned was a member of the representative Lee and the idol Ihoteru, and the incident continued to burn. News highlights: S. Su Ziwan died of illness in February, leaving his family in deep grief. In the early morning of today, 18th, SS mother posted on Facebook again after 27 days, posting a public welfare photo of donating ambulances with her daughter in 2022, and said that she just hoped that everyone would say more good things and did not want to argue with the acid people. She affectionately shouted "I miss my heart baby," which moved netizens. Xiao S hopes that her mother will not post late at night, so as not to be more sad. Netizens left messages to encourage SS mother to be strong, praised her as a good mother, and hoped that she would get out of the pain of losing her daughter. News highlights: according to the Soha horoscope column, there are 4 zodiac signs that show amazing transformation after emotional setbacks. Aries is good at introspection and self-improvement in the low tide, rekindling self-confidence. Leo turns failure into motivation and strengthens his own value and leadership. Scorpio becomes more mature and rational through inner reflection and spiritual healing. Pisces, on the other hand, learns to be strong and independent in the midst of pain, improves communication skills, and welcomes new relationships. These signs can find opportunities for growth from frustration and show the energy of rebirth. News highlights: in recent years, Taiwan has become the core of the global semiconductor supply chain with its advanced manufacturing process and TSMC's dominant position. If a conflict breaks out in the Taiwan Strait, it will hit the global economy hard, with losses of up to $2.7 trillion, and Taiwan and China's economy will bear the brunt. Countries have accelerated the localization of chips, including the Chips and Science Act of the United States and major investments in Europe, Japan, and South Korea, but there is still a gap between Taiwan's technology and Taiwan. This situation highlights the risks of global dependence on Taiwan, and deepens China's intention to control, raising geopolitical and economic security concerns. News highlights China's aircraft carriers Liaoning and Shandong recently made their first simultaneous appearance in the western Pacific Ocean and entered the exclusive economic zones around Minami Torishima and Okinawa respectively, during which they conducted more than 500 carrier-based aircraft takeoff and landing exercises. The track shows that it has approached Guam, and it is suspected that it is conducting a pressure drill against the strategic hub of the U.S. military. The Japanese side believes that China's move is intended to contain the United States, demonstrate its sea, air, and ocean-going combat capabilities, and deepen its military presence between the first and second island chains, which has aroused great concern for regional security. News highlights recently, the situation in the Indo-Pacific has been tense, and the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command has raised the security alert level of facilities in the region from Alpha to Bravo since the 14th. Although there is no specific threat to the government, it is a preventive security measure to strengthen the protection of personnel and missions. The U.S. military stationed in South Korea made public news on the 17th, causing the outside world to worry that there may be something happening in the region, especially China's frequent moves against Taiwan and the unstable situation on the Korean peninsula, which have made the escalation of vigilance a lot of concern. The U.S. side called on personnel to be vigilant and pay attention to the stricter security controls and random counterterrorism measures in the base. News highlights the summer vacation tourism season in Kenting started bleakly, with the booking rate only about 5%, a new low in the past 20 years. After the epidemic, the change in tourism patterns, the fierce competition of international travel services, and the negative impression have deterred tourists. The Pingxian County government offered activity subsidies and the new brand of Wind Peninsula to rescue tourism, and promoted the 150th anniversary of the founding of Hengchun to attract customers. The industry has also launched cultural in-depth experience and preferential programs, hoping to reshape the charm of Kenting. The B&B Association suggested inviting creators to shoot short videos and audios to enhance Kenting's international visibility and inject new vitality into tourism. News highlights 2 car accidents in southern Taiwan in which military vehicles hit and killed people in 3 days have aroused social concern. In the early morning of the 14th, the military vehicle of the Flower Defense Department collided with a 32-year-old female rider in Pingtung, Chechen, causing her to die of serious injuries. In the early morning of the 17th, another military truck in Kaohsiung's Alien district knocked down an 80-year-old couple when he turned right, causing a tragedy of 1 dead and 1 injured. Both accidents were driven by active-duty military personnel, neither of whom was drunk driving, and both were on duty at the time of the incident. The military and prosecutors have intervened in the investigation, and the perpetrators have been sent to the police for the crime of negligence causing death, and the incident has triggered a review of the safety and responsibility system of military vehicles. News highlights Wu Dongjin, the founder of Shinkong Financial Holdings, 2888, and his family recently sold a large number of shares of Shinkong Gold, totaling about 50,000 shares worth about 600 to 700 million yuan, mainly because of tax-saving considerations before the merger of Taishan Gold and Shinkong Gold. Wu Dongjin's 46,759 shares have all been cleared, and his daughter Wu Xinru, son Wu Xindong and his wife Su Yunyu's names or subsidiaries have also been reduced. Corporate shareholdings such as Shinkong Hospital and Shinkong Mitsukoshi remained unchanged. The family emphasized that this is a personal asset plan, which will not affect the long-term support for the company. News highlights according to the statistics of the causes of death of Chinese people in 113 years, cancer has ranked first for 43 consecutive years, claiming more than 50,000 lives every year, with lung cancer, liver cancer, and colorectal cancer being the most deadly. Experts point out that most cancers are asymptomatic in the early stage, and it is recommended not to rely on the red letter of general health examination to judge health, but to use advanced examinations such as imaging and colonoscopy for early detection. Data show that the early detection rate of breast cancer, lung cancer, and prostate cancer has increased in recent years, confirming that the effect of active health examination is significant. Experts urge people with high risk factors to arrange a complete examination as soon as possible to grasp the golden period of treatment. News highlights many seemingly bland foods actually hide a high-sodium crisis. Dietitian Gao Minmin named 9 high-sodium mines. Noodles, 100 grams contains 2,384 milligrams of sodium. Instant noodles, processed meat, white toast, pot-roasted pasta, kimchi, soda biscuits, sports drinks, cold noodles, etc. Excessive intake may lead to high blood pressure, cardiovascular and kidney burden. It is recommended to consume no more than 2,400 milligrams of sodium per day. Try to eat less processed products, reduce the amount of sauces, and use spices or lemon flavoring to reduce health risks. News highlights in the first 5 months of 2024, the buying gas in Taiwan's pre-sale housing market fell sharply, with the North District of Tainan City falling by 99.1% year-on-year, with only 2 transactions, and Zedong Town, Hsinchu County and Rinyu District, Kaohsiung City, also plummeting by 96.6% and 94.3% respectively. Overall, there were 77 areas with less than 50 transactions, an annual increase of more than 5%. According to expert analysis, the fever of science and technology themes, the withdrawal of investment and buying, and the market entering a correction period, have cooled the past hot spots. The 329 schedule hit a 5-year low, indicating that the housing market has entered a pattern of slow repair and consolidation, and it may be difficult for buying guests to rebound significantly in the second half of the year. News highlights. Aren't you? Obviously started a low-carb diet, but his weight stagnated, and he even ate healthier than others, but the weight loss effect was not good? Studies have shown that long-term extreme low-carbon, less than 50 grams of carbohydrates per day, may not only increase the risk of type 2 diabetes in middle-aged women by 27%, but also cause blood sugar fluctuations, intestinal problems, and nutritional imbalances. Dietitians recommend that the key to successful fat burning is to replenish good fats, e.g. avocados, nuts, avoid hidden sugars, sweet sauces, processed foods, consume enough protein, chicken, soy products, and maintain moderate carbohydrates, about 40 to 50% of daily calories, to achieve healthy and consistent weight loss. News highlights. President Lai Ching-te invited the leader of the opposition party to participate in the national security briefing, but the Kuomintang and the People's Party did not announce that they would not attend until the day before, which caused controversy. People's Party Chairman Huang Qiuqing criticized the meeting for deviating from the commitment of discussing the country's affairs, but the presidential office made public the original text of Lai Qing's 520-day, clearly calling it an important national security situation briefing, and pointed out that the People's Party did not actively respond to communication, but responded with a press conference, slapping Huang Qiuqing in the face. The well-known anchor Zhang Yakan also criticized Huang Qiuqing for lying hard, believing that the People's Party deliberately distorted the facts and made obvious political achievements. News highlights. On the 10th of this month, Taiwan's well-known internet celebrity curator launched a free trip to Shanghai and broadcast the whole process, frequently praising China's development, and even praising the design of roadside trash cans better than Taiwan, which caused heated discussions. Xies Highway, the representative in Germany, criticized the curator for licking the Communist Party must also have a level, emphasizing that to be unified, it is necessary to be free and democratic, and to be reasonable, and satirized the curator's words and deeds with a pun of garbage can, calling for a general recall to remove the smelly garbage can. Chinese netizens also questioned the curator's exaggeration, while the curator responded that the trash can design was indeed distinctive, mentioning smoking and human rights issues. This incident has aroused extensive discussion in Taiwan society. News highlights. Huang Lu Jinru, chairman of the Taipei City Party Department of the Kuomintang, was detained on suspicion of forging documents on suspicion of having a large number of dead signatures in the petition for the recall of Shuang Guo. During the trial, she broke down emotionally and cried bitterly, emphasizing her innocence and lamenting that she was 76 years old and that she would die in prison if she continued to be detained, calling for social fairness and peace. The prosecution pointed out that she was the leader of the incident and was worried about her interference with witnesses and the destruction of evidence, and ruled that Huang Lu and her accomplices Chu Wenqing and Yao Fuwen were detained and banned from seeing her for 3 months. This case exposed the fierce contradictions within the blue camp and aroused the attention of the outside world. News highlights. People's Party legislator Huang Qiuqing played a suspected AI synthesis demonstration recording during the questioning in the Legislative Yuan on the 16th, which aroused questions from Zheng Mingqian, the head of the legal department. Today, 18th, Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, legislator Wang Yushuan accused Huang Qiuqing of exercising the crime of forgery at the Judicial and Legal Affairs Committee, and reported it on the spot, and asked Zheng Mingqian to transfer it to the Public Prosecutor's Office for investigation. Wang Yushuan stressed that if such AI audio files are allowed to be made public, it may affect judicial fairness and damage judicial trust and the fairness of judgments. News highlights. During Ma Ying's visit to the mainland, he blurted out in Hokkien that Mizzou comes from the mainland, Taiwan independence does not love it, which aroused heated discussions and criticism. Liang Wenjie, vice chairman of the Mainland Affairs Council, rejects the CCP's atheism and does not believe in gods, and Mizzou Niang does not love it. Vice Chairman Shen Yuzhong questioned the CCP's promotion of the Mizzou think tank and other United Front work in the name of religious exchanges, emphasizing that atheist political parties have a strange starting point for talking about religious exchanges, and reminded them of the United Front risks of religious packaging. News highlights. President Lai Ching-te personally invited Kuomintang Chairman Zhu Lailun and People's Party Chairman Huang Qiuqing to attend a briefing on the national security situation, but both refused to attend, causing controversy. DPP legislator Lin Chunqian criticized Zhu and Huang for primary school students not going to welfare cooperatives together, questioning them for putting political calculations above Taiwan's security and being disloyal to the opposition party. Lin stressed that national security should be the common bottom line of the government and the opposition, and refusing to attend only reaffirms their political stance, and called on the two to face the pressure of recall together and not to use national security as a political bargaining chip. News highlights. U.S. President Trump issued a warning on the 17th that although he knew where Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was hiding, he would not get rid of him at least now, and demanded that Iran surrender unconditionally. Subsequently, Kaminaka responded publicly through her official account, citing the Shiite historical symbol the Battle of Khaybar, declaring that the battle has begun and accompanying images of the attack on the fortress to threaten Israel. Khamenei stressed that there will be a strong and unrelenting response to the terrorist Zionist regime, further escalating tensions between the two sides. News highlights the Flash soldier group headed by Chen Haiming was suspected of paying a fee for 24 men including Wang Delu to fake high blood pressure and desert soldiers, and was prosecuted yesterday and transferred to the new Taipei District Court. Chen Nan assigned Li Mingchen to replace Wang Delu for a doctor, and Li Nan's appearance was similar to Wang Delu, and he was known as the royal stand-in. During the court hearing, Li, Zhang, and Lin were released on bail and restricted from moving, and Chen Nan was directly transferred to serve his sentence as a prisoner because his sentence in another case must be served until 2029. Chen and others confessed that after Chen Nan was charged, Li was responsible for the consultation and blood pressure machine, and Zhang and Lin assisted in transportation, and the facts of the crime were clear but there was no need for detention. News highlights in May last year, a woman surnamed Zhuang in Taichung City was provoked by a man surnamed Zhang for illegal parking, and a quarrel broke out between the two sides. The prosecution prosecuted, but the first and second trials held that Zhuang Nu only scolded a sentence, and the word did not damage the dignity of Zhang Nan's personality, which was within the tolerable range of ordinary people, and the verdict was not guilty. News highlights President Lai Ching-te invited the leaders of the opposition parties to participate in today's 18th National Security Briefing, and the Kuomintang and the People's Party did not announce their attendance until yesterday, 17th. People's Party Chairman Huang Qiuaqing criticized the meeting for not being in line with Lai Qing's promise of discussing the country's affairs, but the presidential office made Lai Qing's post on the same day on 520, which was clearly called an important national security situation briefing, and the People's Party did not respond positively during the consultation, but replied at a press conference, which was questioned for lying. The well-known anchor Zhang Yaqian also publicly criticized Huang Qiuaqing for distorting the facts, pointing out that the People's Party had long wanted to participate, and the political intention was obvious. News highlights Hong Kong star Zheng Zongji and his anchor wife Yu Ximin were shocked to divorce after 14 years of marriage, and the woman took the initiative to propose. In April, Cheng appeared in the Hong Kong family court, but could not negotiate maintenance payments. Yu Ximin pointed out that Zheng is only willing to pay 8,000 Hong Kong dollars, about 33,000 Taiwan dollars, per month, and cannot afford the living and children's talent tuition fees. Cheng Zongji revealed that alimony is only part of the dispute, child custody is also being negotiated, and the children are currently distributed half and half, and the atmosphere on Father's Day is embarrassing. News highlights a 64-year-old woman surnamed Xiao in Tainan was rejected for a return after buying a 25 yuan quiche, and forcibly broke into the counter of the breakfast shop to take 25 yuan from the change box, and pushed the store's mobile phone, causing damage to the screen. The Tainan District Court sentenced him to 25 days of detention and a fine of 25,000 yuan. Ms. Su appealed, claiming that she was not guilty and that her personal freedom and portrait rights had been violated. The Tainan High Branch found that his behavior obstructed the store's right to operate and constituted the crime of damage, and that he had no remorse, rejected the appeal and did not grant a suspended sentence, and the judgment was confirmed. News highlights internet celebrity Zhou Peijun, Kailin, announced on Facebook yesterday, 17th, that at the age of 36, she officially became a grandma, and her eldest daughter gave birth to her granddaughter in only 15 minutes. As a hostess and community manager, Chao Puiquan has worked hard to build a warm family through her own experiences, including a difficult childhood, becoming a mother at the age of 15 and 2 marital setbacks, and hopes to use her own experience to encourage everyone to face life's challenges bravely. News highlights Costco cheese store recently resumed the self-service area of sauces and sweet and sour cucumbers that were cancelled after the epidemic, which aroused heated discussions among netizens. Many netizens said that other branches such as Tainan, Taichung, Xinzhuang and other places have also been restored, which is convenient for heating dogs and beef rolls to add flavor. However, some netizens are worried that the self-service area is easy to cause hygiene problems, and they are afraid that someone will fill the bag and cause chaos in the AOK, so they suggest that counter management should be set up to maintain order and hygiene. News highlights the share price of Yuan Gold, 2,885, challenged the 34 yuan level on the 18th, reflecting the personnel layout of the new chairman Wang Jian and acting general manager Huang Weikan after the shareholders' meeting. The company actively promotes group integration, digital transformation, and wealth management, and its future high-level strategies have attracted much attention from the market. Yuanta Financial Holdings has been ranked in the top 5% of the stock exchange's corporate governance evaluation for 9 consecutive years, and its futures subsidiary is the only financial institution to have been awarded for 11 consecutive years, demonstrating its excellent governance and sustainable management capabilities. Yuanta International, Singapore, a subsidiary of Yuanta International, has obtained a capital market license to create the Asian Futures Golden Triangle and actively expand the international market. News highlights Walai Lottery has been tortoising for 32 consecutive periods, and the jackpot on Thursday, 19th, accumulated 1.4 billion yuan. Folklore expert Liao Dai pointed out that in 2025, the year of the green snake will be in the spring and leap June, and the fortune of the dragon, dog, ox, and sheep will be particularly prosperous, and the fortune will break out. Doing more good deeds can help good luck, bringing small wealth into the pocket and big wealth coming to the door. News highlights during the summer solstice. Numerologist Yunwei pointed out that there are 3 zodiac signs with the most prosperous fortune. The first is the zodiac rabbit, which is a lucky type that unintentionally inserts willows and willows into the shade, with strong inspiration and smooth cooperation, which can easily bring additional income. The second is the zodiac tiger, who has good financial luck, affirmation of work, accurate investment judgment, and is suitable for positive action. The third is the zodiac pig, with the help of nobles, positive and prosperous, calm attitude and good financial judgment. These 3 zodiac signs can grasp the opportunity on the summer solstice, and their financial luck is expected to increase significantly. News highlights the Yuan Taiwan 50-0050 ETF completed its split and resumed trading on the 18th, with an opening volume of 138,000 contracts quickly exceeding a record high. After the split, the reference price is about 47.16 yuan, which greatly lowers the entry threshold and attracts a large number of buyers. The legal person pointed out that with the expansion of the scale, the management fee rate will continue to decline, and has now been reduced to about 0.103%, which is very beneficial for long-term investment of small capital. 0050 tracks the top 50 stocks in Taiwan's stock market capitalization, leading the market 6 times in the past 10 years, with cumulative returns significantly better than the market, and has long-term stable investment value. News highlights the Federal Reserve, Fed, will announce the interest rate decision in the early hours of tomorrow morning, Taipei time, although the probability of interest rate cuts is low, but the market is concerned about whether the FOMC will maintain its expectation of 2 interest rate cuts this year, the judgment on inflation and Powell's response to the easing pressure of the White House. Buffet economists forecast that the Fed will remain on the sidelines and that the policy stance will remain modest. The market is most concerned about whether the dot chart will reduce the number of interest rate cuts, and interest rate futures show that the interest rate is not motivated in July, and the probability of interest rate cuts in September is more than 50%. The Fed may consider ending balance sheet reduction to increase market liquidity. Markets are betting that Powell's term will end in May 2026 and the new chairman will turn to easing, but the personnel bill may be challenged by Congress, and policy will still be decided collectively by the committee. News highlights the situation in the Middle East is tense, and US President Donald Trump is considering whether to join Israel's military action against Iran. Although the US originally claimed that Israel was acting alone, Trump's vacillating attitude has exacerbated regional instability. Trump has made harsh remarks on social media urging Iran to surrender unconditionally, and experts have warned that this strategy could trigger a preemptive strike by Iran. Iran could gamble on an all-out war to challenge US military power in the Middle East. Markets are currently on the sidelines, but if the conflict expands, attacking the US military or blocking oil lanes, it will cause significant turmoil. News highlights a violent incident occurred on campus at Darwin Universal University of Science and Technology on the 17th, and a male college student did not return to the dormitory for nearly 2 weeks. The student was dissatisfied with the dormitory supervisor opening the door for rounds without consent, and lost control of his emotions and continued to attack with his fists, resulting in a fracture of the warden's right hand and the need for surgery. The student later argued that $100,000 had been lost in the room, but there was no evidence. The police have transferred the student for investigation on suspicion of assault, and the school has solemnly condemned the violence, initiated the disciplinary process, and stressed that there is no room for violence to maintain campus safety. News highlights the Israeli and Iranian airstrikes have entered their 6th day, with the two sides continuing to bomb each other. Israeli warplanes attacked Tehran to warn Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei of a fate similar to that of Iraq's Hussein. Iran attacked Israel's largest city, Tel Aviv, and Haifa, with saturation ballistic missiles, claiming to have hit the Mossad headquarters, but Israel denied it, saying that the hit was only a bus parking lot. Israeli air defense systems are working hard to intercept incoming missiles, and tensions between the two sides have increased. Experts estimate that Iran's missile stockpile has fallen from 2,000 to about 1,300, and the threat is likely to abate in the coming weeks. News highlights there was a random attack by a man who was drunk and out of control in Dali, Taichung. The man first smashed a roadside vehicle with a gas bucket, and then stabbed a member of the public surnamed Su who had just checked out in front of the supermarket, causing a laceration to his lungs, and is now under observation in the intensive care unit. After receiving the report, the police arrested the man at his home within half an hour, and the man still smelled of alcohol, and the motive for the murder was suspected to be that he was drunk and out of control. The police investigation is ongoing. News highlights the Legislative Yuan passed the amendment to Article 46 of the Employment Services Act, which allows the elderly over 80 years old and patients aged 70 to 79 years old to hire foreign caregivers for the employment of foreign caregivers, and the PAP scale assessment is no longer required. Hong Shenhan, Minister of Labor, said that due to the impact of the problem of foreign caregivers abandoning the priority and choosing the light, serious families are being coordinated, and recruitment and supporting measures are being coordinated with relevant ministries, and preparations are expected to be completed and on the road by the end of July, hoping to reduce the pressure of intensive family care. News highlights: the well-known Korean DJ Soda recently had to shave the back of his head and the hair on both sides due to a bleaching accident, and his hair began to melt from the roots due to the effect of the drug for too long, and now it is only about 3 mm long, and it is estimated that it will take more than 2 years to recover. She shared her feelings on Instagram, admitting that her daily hair loss made her sad, insomnia, and even afraid to look in the mirror. Later, it was found that the designer had been missing for 3 weeks, and it was not until she posted publicly that she could not be contacted. Soda reminds fans that they must find a professional designer for hair bleaching to avoid the same tragic situation. News highlights: the leading Taiwanese stock ETF Yuan Ta Taiwan 50,0050, completed a 4-to-1 split and resumed trading at 47.16 yuan today, 18th, with the stock price significantly lowering the entry threshold, attracting a large number of buyers, and the opening trading volume quickly climbed to more than 130,000 contracts, becoming the king of Taiwan stock trading. Since its issuance in 2003, the scale of 0050 has grown steadily, and the asset scale has exceeded 660 billion yuan this year, with more than 1.1 million beneficiaries. The segmentation and fee reduction strategy enhanced liquidity and attractiveness, and continued to strengthen its position as the largest ETF in Taiwan. News highlights: on June 17, the prototype of the Chinese-built submarine Haiken sailed out of Kaohsiung port for the first time to conduct the first sea float test, SAT, marking an important milestone for the self-built submarine. Taiwan Shipbuilding said that the Haiken has completed the sea dynamic tests of propulsion, rudder wing, power, ventilation, communication, and charting systems, and will adjust and improve according to the test results in the future, and will successively carry out shallow water and deep water diving tests. The project team is composed of technical personnel from Taiwan Shipbuilding, the Navy, and the original equipment factory, which will ensure the performance and safety of the submarine, and continue to promote the submarine operation after completing the watertight test and underwater equipment inspection. News highlights: Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, 75, is known for his hawkish toughness. He made a vow in the Israeli-Palestinian war many years ago to fight the enemy at all costs, showing determination. When Hamas raided Israel on October 7, which fueled years of conflict between the two sides, Netanyahu immediately declared that he would retaliate forcefully, believing that Israel would win, albeit at a heavy cost. His firm stance and past experience have become an important background for the fierce escalation of the Israeli-Palestinian war, and have also brought geopolitical tensions to a climax, especially in strategic areas such as the Strait of Hormuz. News highlights: the U.S. Marine Corps pointed out in Congress that the first blow in the U.S.-China conflict will be aimed at critical infrastructure, and the combat area is not limited to the first island chain, which may include cyber attacks, drone intrusions, and subversive operations, and emphasized that U.S. military bases have become important battlefields. Taiwanese scholar Guo Hongjun took Ukraine's failure to strike first as an example, arguing that it is more important for Taiwan to maintain international support and international legitimacy than to strike first, and China's large-scale amphibious operations take time, and the first attack is not conducive to Taiwan's deterrence and resistance. Guo stressed that letting the opponent strike first will help Taiwan maintain its long-term advantage in the war of resistance. News highlights: Legislative President Han Kuo-yu celebrated his 68th birthday on the 17th, and Vice President Zhang Qichen posted a photo of the two eating cake on Facebook, humorously wishing him colleagues are safe and healthy, families are happy, and I hope that hair can grow. And thank Han for bringing positive energy and making the meeting room full of laughter. Han Kuo-yu also thanked his supporters for their blessings over the years, with more than 6,000 comments pouring in, including happy birthday and encouragement from current affairs commentators and legislators. News highlights: according to the latest survey by the Children's League, only 16% of the people in Taiwan have obvious misogyny, and most of the complaints come from children's crying and noise, not the children themselves. 39.5% of the public are child-friendly and child-rearing families, and more than half of them are concerned about whether their children have problems or whether parents need help when they see crying. Some people believe that children should be restricted from high-end restaurants and public transportation, but 47.3% support children's free access. The Children's League calls on the community to improve understanding and support for children's behavior, reduce the psychological pressure on parents, and create a more child-friendly environment. News highlights: the People's Party's proposal to abolish the Supervisory Yuan's constitutional amendment was signed by 32 legislators, 22 of whom were Blue Committee members. Cause controversy. Xia Hanbing, a well-known speaker, said that Chen Huiven's remarks were exciting and maverick, which was his style over the years, not a sudden change, and he had also criticized the Kuomintang in the past, emphasizing that it is reasonable for everyone to have different views, and called for a rational view of his remarks. News highlights: according to the latest poll of Mirror News, the approval rate of Su Kioxin, the Blue Committee of Xinyi District, Songshan District, Taipei City, was 45.9%, exceeding the 42.9% who did not approve of the recall, becoming the only Blue Committee member who was more in favor of the recall than against. Among the voters who will definitely vote, 60.5% support the removal of Su Kioxin. Among the other 4 Blue Committee members, Lai Shibao of Wenshan District, Wang Hongui of Zhongshan District of Songshan, and Li Yangziu of Niahunangang District also had more support for the recall than opposition, while Luo's Haiqiang of Da'an District was mostly opposed to the recall with 51.8%. On the whole, many legislators of the Kuomintang are facing recall pressure, while the DPP has not been recalled. News highlights: according to the latest poll by the Taiwan Public Opinion Foundation, 36.7% are in favor of the general recall, and 57.7% are not in favor, an increase of nearly 700,000 opponents from May, indicating that the mainstream of society tends to oppose the general recall. Psychiatrist Shen Zhennan suggested that we should focus on winning over middle voters and pay attention to changes in the support of political parties, pointing out that if the combined support of blue and white exceeds that of the green camp, it will be difficult to succeed in the general recall. The survey also revealed the support of political parties, 35.9% for the DPP, 20.2% for the KMT, 15% for the People's Party, and 25.8% of the public have no specific party preferences. News highlights: the fortune column of Soha pointed out that the 3 zodiac signs of the rooster, dragon, and pig are rich and noble, and they are the promoters of family harmony. Rooster women are shrewd and capable, good at managing families and raising children, bringing prosperity and wealth. Dragon women have the temperament of a leader, take care of the workplace and family, and promote the growth of their husbands' careers and children. Pig women are gentle and tenacious, considerate of family emotions, and are the pillars of family stability, driving wealth and happiness. These 3 zodiac signs can help the family to develop upwards as a whole. News highlights: doctors warn that tuna and shark, which are commonly eaten by Taiwanese people, contain high concentrations of heavy metals lead and mercury, which may accelerate dementia and increase the risk of cancer. Lead can interfere with nerve signals, especially in children's mental development, and mercury can penetrate the blood-brain barrier, causing visual, coordination and memory impairments. Arsenic can also cause chronic damage to the nervous system through drinking water. It is recommended to reduce the consumption of large deep-sea fish, choose organic fruits and vegetables, safe drinking water, and consume more antioxidant foods to reduce heavy metal damage. News highlights: former member of the popular boy group NCT, Tail, Moon Tae-il, was tried for the first time at the Seoul Central District Court on June 18 on suspicion of conspiring with 2 accomplices to sexually assault a drunk woman in June 2024. All 3 pleaded guilty to the charges, and prosecutors sought 7 years in prison and a 10-year ban from working as a child and young man. Tail was terminated by SM Entertainment in October last year, and the case is still being heard, which has aroused great concern from the society and fans. News highlights: this year, due to the double spring leap June, it is regarded as a year of good luck, but numerology expert Agu reminds that the energy is turbulent, and it is still necessary to pay attention to 4 taboos: avoid going to places with negative energy, such as cemeteries and mourning homes, avoid touching unopened prayer offerings, do not move, and avoid sacrifices, weddings and funerals and other occasions. The ghost month will also be delayed during the leap month, which is suitable for important life decisions, but this year it is advisable to exercise caution to avoid exacerbating the negative impact. News highlights: a serious car accident occurred in Madao District, Tainan City in the early morning today, 18th. A 54-year-old woman surnamed Shen rode a motorcycle to her 85-year-old mother, and collided with a woman surnamed Kong driving a minibus at the entrance of the alley. The police rushed to the scene to perform CPR, but the lives of the 2 people could not be saved. The Kong woman who caused the accident had a nervous breakdown and knelt on the ground. Her legs were weak, and she was not injured. The intersection of the accident was a flashing yellow light, and the police are investigating the detailed cause of the accident and the attribution of responsibility. News highlights: the Democratic Progressive Party set off a wave of recall in Taiwan and launched an action against the Regional Blue Committee, and Fu Kunking, the general director of the Kuomintang Caucus, visited Li Leixi, former chairman of the Taiwan Civil Servants Association, on the 17th to exchange views on the issue of military and public education pensions. Li Leixi was originally dissatisfied with the KMT's failure to push for a halt to the gradual decline in retirement income, but after the meeting, his attitude changed to support, calling on supporters to understand the KMT's plight and believe that it has the ability to set things right in the future and survive the turmoil. News highlights: Hong Kong singer Zheng Zongji and anchor wife Yu Simin are rumored to have a marriage change, which has attracted attention because of the suspicion of alimony. In his statement, Mr. Cheng confirmed for the first time that the 2 were going through divorce procedures, and clarified that the report of $8,000 per month alimony was inconsistent with the facts, stressing that the rumors had seriously affected the family. Both parties agreed not to discuss openly in the hope of protecting children and their families, avoiding the waste of public resources, and thanking the outside world for their concern and understanding. News highlights: the Crazy Beauty Symphony Orchestra performed Hayao Miyazaki Animation Score 2 for the first time in Pingtung on the 14th, attracting a full audience, but the performance was interrupted due to 2 late audience members and the museum's improper response, and conductor Xia Weiman angrily withdrew in protest. He later criticized the event as absurd, including the uproar of the audience, the negative handling of the staff, and the eviction of the tour bus after the performance. The Pingtung Cultural Affairs Department responded that it would strengthen staff training and improve the late admission mechanism, and called on the audience to abide by the etiquette of the performance. News highlights: Anne Burrell, a well-known American chef and food show host, passed away on June 17 at the age of 55, and the news has been confirmed by Food Network. Brill is a popular host of popular shows such as Secrets of a Restaurant Chef and Worst Cooks in America, as well as cooking events such as Iron Chef America and Chopped. Her passing is deeply mourned by the food industry and fans. News highlights: President Lai Ching-te invited the leader of the opposition party to give a national security briefing for the first time after taking office, but the KMT and the People's Party were dissatisfied with the controversy over the long duration of the briefing. The whole process was closed, and the confidentiality agreement was not clear, and both finally declined to attend. The Kuomintang demanded that the chairman of the 3 parties interact openly, and the People's Party responded by not attending. The presidential office said that it had shown the greatest goodwill and regretted that the negotiations had broken the situation, while Zhu Lailun called on the government and the opposition to establish a stable dialogue platform through the Secretary-General level. News highlights: Taipei Mayor Chang Wan publicly supported Da'an District Legislator Luo's Haiqiang and opposed the recall against him. He pointed out that Luo's Haiqiang was active in politics and made a lot of contributions to the municipal administration and people's livelihood, and the recall was obviously political, which seriously deviated from the spirit of democracy. Chang called on citizens to stand up bravely to defend the justice of the system and the dignity of democracy, and to oppose the use of recall as a political tool to suppress the opposition. News highlights: Democratic Progressive Party legislator Wang Yushuan today denounced Huang at the Judicial Committee on suspicion of using forged documents and asked the Ministry of Justice to refer the case to the Public Prosecutor's Office for investigation. The Ministry of Justice stressed that the source of the film is unknown, which may affect judicial fairness. Wang criticized Huang for using AI to imitate the voice to perform the interrogation content, which may obstruct the judiciary. In this regard, Wu Zongxian, a member of the convening committee, believes that there is no violation of the law, and there is no legal basis for criticizing the accusations made by the outside world. News highlights today, 18th, Taiwan was affected by southerly to southeasterly winds, and the first half of the day was mostly clear, with only occasional brief showers in the southeast and Hengchun Peninsula, thunder showers in the western half and Yuhua Mountains in the afternoon, and heavy rain in the south central and northern mountainous areas. Meteorological expert Xu Xingxing said that the next 10 days will be a typical afternoon thunder shower pattern. The weather is hot and sultry, and the environment will be favorable for typhoons from the 26th to July 2nd, reminding the public to continue to pay attention to the latest weather forecast. News highlights: Taiwanese pot sticker chain brand Beifang Yunji entered Matsu in 2018 and rented the Pinnacle building to set up a directly operated store, because the founder Lin Jieu had a deep affection for the local service. However, due to the increase in shop rents and logistics costs, the lease will close on June 27 after 7 years of operation. At present, there are still 5 franchise stores in the outer islands. Lin Jieu said that if there is a suitable location or franchisee in the future, it is still possible to return to Matsu. News highlights: Intel, the global semiconductor giant, is expected to carry out large-scale layoffs starting in July, cutting 15 to 20% of employees at factories around the world, which is estimated to affect more than 10,000 people. According to reports, Intel's move is aimed at the largest layoffs in recent years in response to former financial pressures, with the Oregon plant being the most affected. The company emphasizes that the redundancy process will be handled in a respectful and caring manner.